Hey gang, welcome to N3RD4IA. I decided to choose that song because of my Sherlock theme to this episode. Well, if you haven't seen it and you aren't some like big Sherlockian, then I guess you wouldn't remember or know. But Staying Alive is like Moriarty's theme song. Like anytime that he got like a text message or a call on his phone, it's like, staying alive, which came into rather dramatic play during his final battle with Holmes, as it were. But yeah, so basically Sherlock is BBC's, Stephen Moffat in particular's, modern retelling of Sherlock Holmes and all that entails. Benedict Cumberbatch, who is now even more of a household name now that he was in the Star Trek movie as God. Yeah, really good. Martin Freeman, Hitchhiker's Guide, Hobbit. Benedict Cumberbatch also in Hobbit as Smaug, the voice of, anyway, which I can't wait to see near Christmas time. I keep forgetting it's coming out. I don't know why. But anyway, I am excited about that. Sherlock, basically not very good at picking up on social cues. John Watson, veteran from the war, seems to walk with a limp, walks with a cane, at least in the first episode. And then, when he is led to believe that the majority of his infirmities are in fact in here, ditches the cane entirely, and you see him running around just as much as Sherlock does for the remaining 5 episodes. 3 episodes per season, of course. It's just fun because it's perfectly geared towards being shown on Masterpiece Theater, which I think it might be one of the things it was made for in the first place. But, you know, just like 3 movie-length episodes, like 90 minutes about, and each a separate case, but each also leading up to the ultimate showdown with Moriarty, which happens to very, very crazily in the season 1 finale, where he is about to gun down Sherlock and blow up his only friend, John Watson. Great characterizations, great thrills. I was also told I looked kind of like Moriarty if I did that with my hair. I don't quite see the resemblance, but I do understand. I mean, this is definitely not just hey, let's take the story and turn it into something else. I mean, it is, but what I'm trying to say is that in this version, it creates a whole brand new story with the existing cases, as opposed to, here, let's take all the details from the original and put them in it. No, it's not like that. I mean, instead of going after, like, the general master criminals, Arthur Conan Doyle, you get terrorist cells, government conspiracies, what have you. Especially in Hound of the Baskervilles, which is rewritten as something that takes place on an army base, as a military base, as opposed to on this big, sprawling manor. Basically, the Hound appears in this area where they used to test weapons. It was my favorite episode out of the 6, I think. And then there was Irene Adler, dominatrix, who really loves to tease Holmes, and Holmes' brother Mycroft, who is a high-ranking government official, who is too stubborn to ask his brother for help. And when he introduces himself the first time, you're led to believe for the entire episode that he's the villain, that he's probably like Moriarty or something. But no, he's Mycroft. And then the Reichenbach Fall, a beautifully redone version of Sherlock Holmes' ultimate encounter with Moriarty, in which he goes over the waterfall. Which is really funny to point out, because in the Robert Downey Jr. movie, he goes over the waterfall just like he does in the story. But at the end, there's a hint there. It shows that he is still alive. This does a similar kind of twist, but no waterfall. The waterfall is in evidence, as in it's like a restored, stolen piece of art that Sherlock found of the waterfall itself. So basically, Holmes gets denounced and claimed a fraud, and Moriarty has all these really elaborate tricks to make it 100% sure that no one will disagree with that claim. Sherlock finds himself up on the rooftop with Moriarty. And he realizes just how insane this man is. And Moriarty basically says, if you kill yourself, I won't kill your friends. Remember, he doesn't really have many. They're talking about Inspector, Lestrade, Watson, and his brother, I believe. So basically, Holmes doesn't know what to do, and then he says, no, I think I figured that out. But the thing is, if Moriarty is the one to die, then they will not call it off. If he lives, Holmes might be able to figure it out. But Moriarty pulls the gun on himself, and Sherlock is left in a very tight situation, culminating in a heartbreaking scene between him and Watson on the rooftop, which had so many feels. I understand why the fandom is so obsessed, just because of that final encounter. And we watch stunned as Sherlock leaps from the building. There is no doubt that this man that has fallen is dead. Watson is mad at his friend, his only friend that made him not feel alone. And he angrily yells at his grave. You could do me the favor of not being dead, or something along those lines. And you're left with a little teaser of Sherlock watching Watson being upset. But if what we were watching, he was so visibly dead. If he could pull a stunt like that, do we know if Moriarty's actually dead? Do they both have doubles or something? I mean, they did talk about like cloning and genetics and stuff in the Baskerville episode. Is it something like that? I mean, and then get to Arthur Conan Doyle's stories themselves. He made that story about Sherlock going over the waterfall and going to his death, and then picked up a few more Sherlock Holmes stories. No explanation, no anything. Is it something like that? And will Season 3 be made soon? I really want to know. I also really think I should get one of those hats. So you can see those hats on my door there. I do not have a hat like that. Do you think I should get one? I don't know. But thank you, nerds. And I'm sorry if I spoiled this for anybody, but it's still a hell of a lot of fun to watch. I mean, if you're familiar at all with Sherlock Holmes, you know the majority of the stuff that I told you reflecting on the original. But stay tuned. Next episode, I talk Machete Kills.